the Ascension body. So in this, I'd like to address an alternative perspective with things. If we look at things from a biblical perspective, there's the rainbow associated with God's presence, of hope, of joy, of a covenant between him and the people. If we look at the rainbow from the perspective of going into Tibetan Buddhism, there's the Ascension body with Padmasambhava as an example, who's one of the teachers that brought the rainbow body teachings, the most well known, who actually was in India for 1,000 years before he went to Tibet and brought the rainbow body teachings there that had amazing abilities, capabilities that we all have. Levitation, being able to manipulate matter, just to name a couple of things. The interesting tie and the alternative point of view with this is Yeshua Jesus going throughout, not just hanging out with the Essenes, but going throughout India, up into Tibet, even going over to Ireland, France, that area. And there's many different resources to this, with this perspective of this being going around, reawakening to who he was and some of the master teachers that he went to, knowing who he was already, but not saying anything, allowing that to be found within. Why this is very interesting to me and personal is because I've had experiences with beings that are in rainbow light. They're in their rainbow body. And there was a lot of stuff that came to light, some of it I'm sharing now, that didn't come to light until many years after the original interactions. One of the beings is called Patma, which is a feline Syrian intelligence, that when the original experiences started with her, I would be meditating, and not just her, but another two beings would appear, where with my eyes closed, it was like now my pineal gland's wide open as if my eyes are open, and I could see her and another two intelligences above me looking down on me while I was on a lazy boy type couch, meditating. And if I opened my eyes in that state, and this happened a few times back then and still does at times now, I could not see her and the beings that were with her physically, but they'd be like apparition energies. And it was later revealed that not only is she an old friend, but that with what I was going through at the time, which was a lot of spiritual warfare and battles, was that I was having assistance, that I had to go through this myself, and I actually had a visit from Yeshua around that same time. I write about this in one of the books. But there was a process that was quite interesting, where she would use her palm paws and put it through my energy body that was appearing as a rainbow energy, and it was like she was retuning and adjusting them with another couple of intelligences. Adding on to that, even later on, was the fact that her and her race, which are called the Lashtriya, they are what you could almost say like acupuncturists for the system that connects stars, which again are portals and are used to traverse space-time in the network of this galaxy and the other galaxies. Going back to even an earlier experience, I believe, if I've got the timeline correct here, there's just so much that's gone on over the years. There was a hypnotherapy experience I had with Mary Rodwell. And it was the first time I contemplated it because of a missing time event that occurred. And it was a bit frustrating in it because the Elohim jumped in my body, which was unexpected, and kept saying, Pete knows, stop being stubborn. It was pretty much what we're getting. But there was a being that I was acquainted with from Orion called Hoto. And this being was transforming, or actually transformed from a physical version of itself, which was human, into a rainbow light. And later when I was physically teleported by the Elohim to Sigma Orionis, to a location in that sector, I was approached by beings in their rainbow body that were with me, tagging along with me as I went through a process into a stone circle where holographic information was, we could say, downloaded upon me from holographic script that was over, we could say, dome over the circle that looked between Hebrew and Sanskrit. And not just did it stop there, I've had more experiences with beings going into a rainbow body state. This approach, and while I'm talking about this and I go into these different teachings from where I had a golden tablet with rainbow energy come from it upon me, downloading information that I woke up to one morning, which is where the information came from, some of the teachings and what have you, which is different in some cases from what I'm aware of now with the Tibetan teachings with the rainbow body. But this is something that is a transformational state that we will all get to experience, and if not have already. So, the way that I would approach this is looking at the perspective from Namkhai Norbu, who's a Tibetan Dzogchen master that's no longer with us. He's transformed, he's transcended. But in his teachings, he talks about in 13 star systems, the rainbow body teachings are being taught. And this is where you shed the physical body and turn into rainbow light. And in some cases, there is hair and finger and toenails left, ash. Sometimes it's completely dissolved. Sometimes the physical vessel, the body that one has transcended, starts to shrink and go into a miniaturized state, like a baby size you of what you once were, which is really interesting. Very smooth, plump skin. And David Wilcock's one of the people that says that there's 160,000 documented cases. And so you've got a situation where even with my own experience, I've seen intelligences go from physical form to now, not astrally or etherically or non-physically having a Merkabah around them, but physically. So going from a physical being to now having a Merkabah around you, which is the chariot throne, as two opposing tetrahedrons that spin opposing directions. The chariot, the throne body, we could say, if you replace some of that in the Bible with Merkabah or Merkabah from Jewish mysticism, going from the Merkabah state into the rainbow body where they now dissolve into source and through thought navigate where they reappear. And then they'll go back into rainbow light, the Merkabah, and then their physical body. This is what you can do in the ascension state. A lot of people are wanting to attain this, and it can take many lifetimes to attain this through different types of practices. But a lot of people that have attained this are here at this time to assist the human race with elevating their consciousness. So it's really something that's a case-by-case basis of, is this something for somebody to achieve? But it's also a natural state that if you look at the rainbow body, again, slightly different from the Tibetan stance that I do from my own experience and information, which is instead of the 5 lights, the 7 lights that align with the chakras. And each chakra represents a different density of consciousness. What you've got is that combined and whole is the highest expression that you are, the Elohim self, that is a cell of God, Source Creator. Now, again, I just want you to take this as food for thought, like I say with everything else. I don't have all the answers. I'm piecing this together from my own experiences. It's sort of, I think, with all of us put out in front of us, and we sort of get things when we're meant to. And again, meet the universe halfway where you can on that taking place and unfolding. But when we look at ascension, this is something that not just us, but many worlds go through and continue to go through. Just because you hit a new state of consciousness and you could say that you've ascended, there's other levels beyond that to where even extraterrestrials are wanting to go beyond the state that they're into higher states of consciousness. So you've got a situation where you can ascend and elevate from where you are now. But even when you do that, there's states beyond that. But your natural state is the supreme ascended state that's shapeless, that's formless, that is beyond physicality, beyond light, beyond sound. So this is where even if beings are appearing as light, they may be in an ascended or high consciousness state. But don't forget, the light that you are as well comes from a vibratorial state that's formless, that creates through vibration, yes, which is sound, light, then that light creates matter, and they're actually interchangeable. But all that is consciousness, it's awareness. All right? So other worlds are going through this process too. Other beings, in not just other worlds, but densities of consciousness are also going through it. Not just extraterrestrials. There's beings that reside around us that are also going through this as well. And we may not be able to perceive them, but there are many that live among us. We could say ultra-terrestrials or even inner earth intelligences that are in this frequency and other frequencies that are on this journey. And the thing is, we're all on this journey together. We are all light workers. We are the light. We come from the light that is created from the consciousness that goes into a vibratorial state, creating that light that creates matter. We're all that is. And letting your light shine and being the best version of you is very much a simplistic way I can put this of you doing your job here, just being the best you. Bring that light here while enjoying the Earth human experience.